Hey, what's going on, guys? Apologize for that. I still don't know my camera very well, but we're going to jump right into what classes George has to offer. So, for the beginner shooter, someone who either owns a bunch of guns that have never had training, or someone who's looking to learn about it, and really the way you should do it is get the training before you get the gun, in my opinion. What is it that your company offers?
So we, our basic class or entry-level class for the brand new shooter or a new shooter or the inexperienced shooter or someone who's been shooting a while but really doesn't know what they're doing, as we sometimes find out, we have what's called Pistol 101. So we have two variations of that. One is just Pistol 101, and that class is approximately 5 hours. It's student-based, so we don't rush to class. We make sure that the students are on the same page. It starts off with about 3 hours of theory. We run through firearm safety, range safety and etiquette. We run through firearm nomenclature, ammunition nomenclature, videos on how your firearm, semi-automatic and revolver work. Then we have other videos on malfunctions, on misfire, hang fire, stovepipe, and the dreaded double feed, and how to fix them. We get them used to that in this class. In fact, if they do have a malfunction, we just tell them, we walk over to them and we walk them through it. They actually are going to clear the malfunction themselves. The only way we would take the firearm off of them is if they were doing an unsafe act. Everything's based around the safety of it, but they need to learn how to clear their malfunctions. Then the next one with the Pistol 101, if you don't have a concealed carry license, we have Pistol 101 with CCW. That class is approximately 7 hours long, and the theory part's a little bit longer because it does everything that the 101 has, plus laws pertaining to CCW in Florida, do's and don'ts. We talk about use of force. So there's a lot of things that we talk in there. We really, like I stressed before, we really talk about avoidance, and we really talk about getting our students to understand the legal knowledge and understanding what AOJ is, ability, opportunity, and jeopardy. We really get into those things with our students so that they really understand. They understand what a forcible felony is here in Florida, because if not, they're going to end up in hot water. Getting back to that, both classes, they'll shoot approximately 125 rounds in both classes. And then our next class is Pistol 102. It starts off where Pistol 101 leaves off. But in this class, we start you shooting from your holster. So we start teaching your drawing techniques from outside of concealment. And then halfway through, we go through it with concealment. But let me back up a little bit. There is also a theory part with this. Okay. And we really get into the other aspects of UDA and the color codes. We really get into a lot of different things. We talk about the rational mind in it, the emotional mind, why we need to have a good balance of rational and emotional, because if it's too much emotional, we're going to probably lose the encounter. Mm-hmm. So we go over that. And so with that, we jumping ahead again, we then go ahead and throw something over the garment when they're feeling comfortable, and we teach them how to clear a garment and present the firearm, press it out, and shoot. There's some target identification in it, and there's a little bit more shooting. So we're around 250 rounds in that class. So there's going to be multiple targets. They're going to have to think about what they're doing. They're going to have to assess. So. And then in this class, at the end, we actually score you. We score your abilities. We put you through a 40 round or a 50 round, depending on where we're at. And I'm judging my students where we're at. There's 2 shooting scores that we take on you. And it kind of gives you an ability where you're at. And then we have what's called defensive pistol. Now, my civilian defensive pistol is probably at the higher end of intermediate level, maybe kind of touching into advanced. And there you must be able to provide me with some prerequisites. You must be able to show me that you have great muzzle control, you have great finger discipline, and you know your firearm, because if you cannot clear your firearm, you cannot load it, and you're going to be pulled off the line. Once we get through a couple prereqs on that class, the first couple things that we're assessing you on We will start getting into movements, moving off the X, scanning, communication, different reload techniques, and different drills. So if you don't have your act together and knowing your firearm, how to operate it, how to run it, how to clear it, it's going to be a long day for you if we even let you stay on the line and fire.
How long are these courses?
That class is every bit of 8 hours, and we tell everyone to bring 700 rounds of ammunition to that class.
Oh, wow.
That class, we have about an hour of presentation.
Okay.
Okay, so depending on questions from the students, the presentation can go anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. In the presentation, then we get out on the range, and the actual round count, I tell everyone to bring 700 rounds, but actual and all in all, it's just over 600 rounds.
Okay.
But we bring some extra rounds because if things are going, if everyone's a rock star and they're knocking it out of the park, guess what? We throw some more drills in there. So and then this summer, starting in May, we're coming up with 2 other classes. These are 4-hour classes because we know once June rolls around and after about 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon here, it's brutal on a range, on an outdoor range.
Crushing.
And we teach out on outdoor ranges. We're at the 2 locations I use. I teach outdoors. So it gets hot. So too hot, maybe a health risk. So we're thinking about safety. So we have 2 classes called Pistol Tactics 1 and Pistol Tactics 2. So Pistol Tactics 1 would be a good course if someone did a 102 course, or maybe they went through a 101 and they're very proficient. Pistol Tactics 1 would be great. It's 4 hours.
Okay.
And we're keeping a round count around 200 rounds on this class, 200 to 225 rounds. And what they're going to do is they're going to be doing drills from the holster in this class. And they're going to be doing them from concealment because, like we talked, in Florida, our gun must be concealed at all times, right? Mm-hmm. So they're going to be running those drills. There's no movement, but they're going to be drawn from the holster. They're going to be doing the reloads. We're going to malfunction their guns. In all my classes, 102, defense pistol, all my classes, we go through malfunction drills. We go through them because there's a chance it could happen. You need to know how to clear them quickly. And then we have Pistol Tactics 2. This is going to be an advanced class. It's going to be a little bit more advanced than my defensive pistol class. It'll be 4 hours too. And we're really going to take you into different positions. So we have VTAC barriers. We're really going to move you around. I'm going to teach a couple different prone positions because you never know. You might have to get in that prone position. So there will be some kneeling positions, some prone positions. But like I said, every one of our classes, there's going to be some type of scoring system at the end to give you something to go on. And let me reiterate back to my Pistol 101. My business partner came up with we have a printout. Mm-hmm. And it's just a practice printout. So we give them a 100-round practice printout. The first target's on us, we print it out. They can make photocopies of it. Then we tell them to use a business card and then a Post-it. Mm-hmm. So, you can go get Post-its anywhere, right? You can get something that's a business card anywhere, even if you got to make it on a piece of paper. And we have it different distances and stuff like that so that the student after 101 could go out and they could practice this 100-round drills. And then they'll be a little bit more proficient if they take our 102, or if they go to another instructor, they could kind of brush up and kind of gives them something to do. Because too many people that I see, they go to the range. I wish I had the money for the ammunition that they're wasting. They're spending all this money on ammo and they're wasting it. They're just aimlessly shooting down range, and they're not putting any stressors into it. They're not putting any really anything into it. They're not training. They're just shooting.
Yeah, that would be a great video to do later on too. Yeah, I was actually working on one about how to use your range time to get the most out of it.
Right. There's so many drills out there that you could do that are 50 rounds, 100 rounds, mm-hmm. that you could get everything in there that you need. Some reloads, mm-hmm. some offhand and strong hand shooting. There's a lot of fallacies about that. If the only reason I would shoot one-handed is because my hand went down. Mm-hmm. I'm never going to one-handedly shoot at anything.
Because you got 2 guns.
Well, never thought of that. But I'm going to pull both my Glocks out. But so anything could happen if you take a round in the arm, in the hand, or whatever, and you're going to have to pick the gun up off the ground because that's probably where it's going to be, and then you're going to have to start driving it with that hand. I'll probably start implementing drills on where do we need to put that gun to reload it. I'm not fancy about that. If you have a holster, put the damn gun back in your holster. And it's already locked back, right? So those are things. Simplicity,
So you don't want me to rack it with my teeth?
No.
Okay.
We're holding your mouth while you are doing a reload. No, that's not cool. So those are the classes that we have. And then we also offer for the LEOs out there and security guards. Also, I am a K licensed instructor, so I could do your 4-hour requalification. I'm really not set up to do the actual 28-hour class, but I am set up to do the 4-hour requal. What I do with some of these guys that are security guards, they don't get a lot of time and they don't have a lot of budget.
Yeah.
So we price it reasonably and we get them in there and we do a little training with them. We get them proficient getting that firearm out of their holster, because they're probably going to be working out of a security holster, right? Security 2, maybe security 3, I don't know. So we want to make sure that they're not yanking on a firearm that's stuck in the holster.
Yeah.
And then we do the law enforcement training, and we have a 2-day, 16-hour law enforcement training that's pistol and patrol rifle. And each one of those days is a 1,000-round day. And it's rough. We put you through the paces, but that's what you need. The streets out there for my LEO brothers and sisters, man, it's not kind and it's not getting any kinder. We're losing each other almost on a weekly basis, and it breaks my heart to see that. So we got to be prepared for the fight that's coming. So
actually, that's one thing too. Is like myself coming from the Marine Corps. I feel like a lot of the dudes in the military don't really appreciate the fact that we deploy, and yeah, it's dangerous, but not all the time. Most of my time I was just looking at the desert. I was bored out of my mind. You guys are encountering it every day and going home every night.
Being, just to go back to being on patrol, I can remember, depending on what shift, if it's an 8-hour or 10-hour shift, maybe being in a fist fight 2-3 times a night with someone. Every night with a drunk, that witching hour, 2:30, 3 o'clock, someone's getting, they're liquored up and they're outside the bar and, the whiskey or the beer's talking and you come over and they want to take a shot at the title. So guess what? You're off to the races. So, there was a lot of times that every night, it was on, there were some nights that I was like you. I was bored out of my mind, I was just looking up at the stars, but a lot of times if you think about police officers, they have a gun on them every day, all the time on duty. Mm-hmm. I encourage them to carry a gun off duty. I know some that don't, shame on you, but you should. I live that lifestyle. I carry a gun 24/7. I never have one far out of my reach.
Especially because you guys can take in places I can't.
Right. And so, long story short, with the LEOs, we'll be traveling back up to western Pennsylvania in May, in southwest Pennsylvania, doing a regional police department, a sheriff's office, and some guys from the Pennsylvania Game Commission, another training there. And it looks like we may be making visits back up there in July and October. I know down here in Florida, a lot of the large agencies have their own ranges, but we also have a lot of agencies here that are smaller and they don't have a facility. If you guys want to reach out to me, you want to get a few guys, if you host it, I tell everyone, you host a class, your tuition's free. Nice. So if you host it, you put it on, that person hosting the class, his tuition's free. So we try to make it reasonable, but really you can't put a price on your life.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
For sure. Especially those guys who are out there every day.
Yeah, exactly. And it's great. And I tell everyone to train with everyone. Try to find qualified trainers. Try to find guys that you train with. Try to find guys with real life experience. The military guys have a lot to give. I've learned. I've had some friends that were in the military, and they showed me some things with the rifle. With to implement into my patrol rifle class.
Nice.
So I take a nugget from everyone. One, when I close my mind is when I stop learning, and when I stop learning, I am no longer going to be a valid instructor to my students. Yeah. So I'm always a student. Last year I've taken several different classes actually, like we were talking about. So this year I plan on taking some more classes. I plan on, believe it or not, like you were saying, I plan on taking a James Yeager class. I like a lot of things that he says, so I want to try that. I'm probably going to go take another NRA law enforcement 44-hour class on tactical officer, just to kind of brush up on my deal on that. And I probably want to take a third one. I'd like to get in like a Firearm class, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get in there. It looks like they're all booked up.
They usually are.
Yeah, exactly. So, but there's going to be one more. So I'm open to suggestions, man. I want to get out there. You know, I even thought about even going up to Tennessee, to Reed Hendricks, and maybe taking a class with him. I just want to learn from as many people as I can. But you know, the most important thing, you know, who I learn a lot from? My students.
I should have said it because I was thinking that.
Yeah, my students teach me a lot, you know, and they help me to be a better instructor. So there's always something new that comes up that actually puts a light bulb off in my head.
Yeah, like a question you've never heard before.
A question, or maybe, you know, they're experiencing something that I've never had to go over with somebody, you know, like, but the main thing is the questions or certain things that they come, you know, because we're getting people to come in and maybe have a back problem, maybe have a knee problem. What are we going to do to be able to get you to
be able to
defend yourself?
Yeah.
So.
And well, one other thing too is, you know, for myself, you know, I'm just now positioned where I can go out and start taking all the classes that I want to. So I'm, you know, man, I'm going at it. But one thing I've seen is that the class I've been to, these people are fucking cool. The instructors are cool. The students are cool. It's like, cause you think about it, I listen to death metal, right? So there's like one other person in the building that's into that, right? And then guys who actually train, you know, there's a ton of people who own guns. There's a few people who have a concealed carry permit. There's a few people who actually carry. There's a few people who actually carry on a daily basis. And then there's like a few that actually take training. And those are the death metal kids like me. You know? Like, it's like, you know, we click, we're into it, we're into the culture of it, and you know, and they all have freedom. They're all passionate about being able to protect themselves and the ones they love. And instead of bystanders and not letting bad guys win, you know, and being competent and proficient and building those skills and that mindset.
Right, like myself, and I know a lot of other instructors say this. You are your family's first responder, or you're your own first responder. Look at the average response times for law enforcement. It could be 4 minutes, or it could be 15 minutes, depending on where you live. And 4 minutes in a violent situation could feel like eternity. Even 30 seconds in a violent situation feels like eternity. So, you know, I tell people, you are your family's first responder. And do you have a plan? Do you have a plan? Do you have a plan for home? Do you have a plan for when you go out? So it's not being paranoid, it's being prepared. It's, you know, I had a good friend who's passed away a few years ago, and he used to always tell me, you can never be over prepared, you can only be under prepared.
Right.
So I kind of adopted his saying, and every time I say that, I think of him. And it was when he said it to me the first time he said it to me, I'm like, man, it's so damn true.
Yeah.
You know? So you know, get out there, train, and when you are by yourself, have some type of practice. Just don't shoot rounds down range. Just don't shoot at, you know, a random count. Go there with a purpose. Go there with a drill. There's so many different things that you can print offline, little drills. Or ask the instructor. I tell my students where I get all my drills from. Because you know what? I didn't invent any of them. Someone else invented them. You know, sometimes I put my own spin on them. But you know, I don't claim to any of them. I might say, hey, you know, this drill says we're going to do 1 reload, but I'm going to change it to where we do 2 reloads. So it's the same round count, but we just split it up. So I sometimes make them a little bit more difficult. or maybe I'll back off a little bit to make them a little bit more easier for someone who's a little bit less, experienced.
Yes.
So to be able to adapt to your student is one of the most important things too. So I make sure that they know, hey, I bought this target from this company. This is the name of it. Write it down.
Yeah.
Order yourself some.
Yeah, for sure.
So I just figure, I just want to share it. I want to share my knowledge, my experience, of my career and my personal life, and I want to be able to pass it on for people to be more responsible. So if I could educate some people who could go ahead and give some good advice to somebody else, I think we're getting somewhere.
Like a pyramid scheme of knowledge.
Yeah.
Right on. So you want to give them your website real quick?
So yeah, Blue Line Firearms Training would be www.blueline, one word, -firearmstraining.com. You can email me. It's pretty long there. info@bluelinefirearmstraining-tampa.com. There's my phone number, 813-563-9950. If you got any questions, feel free to call me. Feel free to email me. Love to see you in one of my classes. Or if you guys just want to send me some questions on there. Also, I'm also on Facebook, Blue Line Firearms Training-Tampa. I'm very new to social media. In fact, this is probably the first time I've been on camera and didn't oppose it. Being a retired law enforcement, never liked being on this end of the camera. But so long story short, I'm very new to the
social media.
The social media format. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, never had it, so trying to do the Instagram thing too. It's Blue Line Firearms Training. Just started that up about, I don't know, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, somewhere around there. So
I haven't started mine yet.
I'm spanking new, so I feel like, holy cow,
Well,
But
we'll try to make some more videos. Let people get to know you a little bit better,
Awesome.
and whenever I can, get out to a class too, and probably shoot some footage there.
yeah. Anyone interested in a defensive pistol? We got one March 8th at Guncraft in Ruskin, Florida. Registration will be open until I think March 6th. Would love to see you in class. We keep them small because there's a lot of moving parts, and that will probably be the last defensive pistol until fall because it's just too damn hot.
And how much is that cost?
That class is $225. That includes your range fee and everything. So you're not going to get any extra fees. That includes your range fee. The only thing you need to do is bring your lunch, bring some hydration. 700 rounds of ammunition. Make sure you got a quality firearm. More than 3 mags minimum. If you got more mags, more the merrier, better. A good quality Kydex holster and a good quality load-bearing belt and a cover garment. And like I said, that's going to be the last one because once May comes, I'll be traveling, so I'm not going to be here. And to be able to do that, we got that Pistol Tactics 2 and Pistol Tactics 1 coming up. And in June, it's like to be on the range after 12 o'clock here. Not fun. So we'll probably fire the defensive pistol class back up November-ish.
Okay. Right on. And then you do ladies only classes as well?
Yeah, we actually have a ladies only class coming up March 21st, 22nd. It's a 2-day class. The first day is about 3.5 hours. It's on a Saturday from 6 o'clock till about 9:30. That will be all classroom. And this class is so in depth, it will, if you don't have a CCW, it will qualify you. Okay, it's not it's meant to be a CCW class, but we're going to go over use of force. We're going to go over some Florida laws. We're going to go over everything. And also the ammunition count in this is 200 rounds. And then the next day, we're going to start you off from a bench location, real slow. Actually, we started off dry firing.
Okay.
So we started off with the CERT pistols, shoots the laser beam. And then we go into, from a bench location, then we put you your holster on, teach you how to put that on. We don't cover you up in that class. We don't cover up the holster in that class. We keep it exposed. And we just get some drawing in. And then at the end, we give you a couple little movements just to teach you what it's like to feel like to move off the X.
Okay.
That's it. But it's very slow pace, and it's ladies only. And it just kind of gets you, it's going to get your feet wet to be able to be like, wow, this is something I want to do. So after that class, if you're proficient and safe, I would say, hey, give our 102, or if you're really knocking it out of the park in this class, give our defensive pistol or our pistol tactics 1, then go to pistol tactics 2
Right on.
to take it. So, but just want to let you all know, pistol 101 with CCW, pistol 102, pistol tactics 1, and pistol tactics 2 will run all year.
Okay.
Okay, it's just a defensive pistol. It's just too much movement. I'll probably have a heat stroke out there first. So we'll be postponing that until about November. Plus, I'll be doing a little bit of traveling up in the Northeast to do some law enforcement training.
Can people contact you for private instruction as well?
Yes, we do private instruction. I do a lot. In fact, a lot of my classes are one-on-one. We also do, if you want, a private class. So what does that mean? If you have yourself, your wife, your boyfriend, your significant other, or a group of your friends, and you want your own private class, we could schedule that, and we could schedule you weekday or weekend. So I'm not a company that just runs on weekends. I could do classes on weekdays. So if you work weekends and you need a class on a weekday, we could do that. So yep, one-on-one instruction. We do group training and private lessons. But if you want a group training with 4 or more people, it's the classroom rate. You're not going to get so if it's 2 people, it's private instruction. Once we get over 2 people, so 3 people and up, it's going to be classroom rate.
Right on.
And all the rates include range fees.
Cool. I'm gonna try to get some of that going.
All right.
All right. Well, hey, thank you guys. Please check out George's websites and social media. Hope you enjoyed the 2-part interview. And please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm gonna put all of the links we talked about in the description.
Take care.
With my awkward just stare at the camera. Take care, guys.